51, and we are so happy to be sharing what we do with you via our live stream. And what do? We take education and we take entertainment and we merge them together to do edutainment. Everyone say it with me. Edutainment.
Edutainment.
Thank you very much. So, howdy toddy, and hello to you from the University of Mississippi. Today is really special because in this episode, we get to really celebrate collaboration. A collaboration between the Living Music Resource and our longtime partner and friend, the Sarah Isom Center for Women and Gender Studies. This week, tomorrow night, we are celebrating 10 years of the Isom Center's Sarah Fest and 5 years of the Artist in Residence program. It has been a robust week on campus with all things Artist in Residence. And I'm going to do this prematurely, but my shout out to my partner in crime, who you're going to get to see later, Dr. Theresa Starkey. She's fabulous. Let's give her a whoop whoop and some applause. So, 10 years ago, first artist to come do Sarah Fest was none other than John Langford. Fast forward, 2025. Who do we bring back? Who? John Langford. That's who we bring back. Let me tell you a little bit about John Langford. I could go on for days. Welsh-born musician and artist. Originally the drummer for the punk band the Mekons. It was formed at the University of Leeds in 1977. Later, Mr. Langford took up the guitar. Since the 1980s, he has been one of the leaders in incorporating folk and country music into punk rock. He's released solo recordings as well as recordings with other bands. In the early 1990s, residing in Chicago, he really changed, I think, the musical scene. Langford is also a prolific and respected visual artist, known for his striking portraits of country music icons, including Hank Williams, Johnny Cash, and Elvis Presley. Langford is an accomplished artist and is renowned for his multi-layered paintings of famous and forgotten figures from the dawn of country music. I could go on and on, but we don't want to hear me just talk about him. We want to spend time with him. So let's put our hands together and welcome an alt country legend, John Langford. I've had a little bit of, the cough, and I've avoided John, so finally it's like I can make contact. Welcome. It is an honor to have you here.
It's been amazing being here all week.
Have you had a good time?
Yeah, I've never really done anything like this. So the sessions with the cohort and I don't know, bouncing around the campus. It was really nice actually. It reminded me of me 40 years ago, running around campuses, being late for everything.
And taking it all in.
Yeah, just always like, I've got to eat something. No, I've got to be here. So
well, we are thrilled that you're here.
I've been really well looked after, and it's been very, very interesting.
Wonderful. Well, welcome. All right, we're going to do our first segment, Truth Be Told, where we're going to ask you some sort of rapid questions. They're random. They're inspired by Marcel Proust, okay?
Oh, good.
All right, so we're going to call up Faith here, team member. Come on up, Faith. First question for you, John. What inspires you?
What inspires me?
Yeah.
You mentioned collaboration. I think that's the theme of the week. Usually it's other people's music and art, and I see things, and I'm working with other people. I'm a musician now, sort of first and foremost, and that's a naturally collaborative thing. So I'd love to. We just sat down yesterday, a couple of people just turning up with guitars. We would just sit and play together. It's kind of music's a great language where you can kind of instantly start communicating. And I was inspired to see if I could apply that to art, which is, I think, art, writing, and things like that are often much more solitary.
Yeah.
So that's why I brought Jim Sherabin here this week from Hat Showprint in Nashville. He came over because we've been, trying to solve that problem of how you make collaborative visual art. And I think we have certain ways we've done that. And,
that's awesome.
So yeah, to be honest, yeah, it's working with other people and hearing other people's ideas. The topic of conversations this week has gone all over the map. I thought we were going to be talking about music, writing, and it's been fantastic. So.
That's great. Collaboration is just such a beautiful word. I think it's often misunderstood, but I think the theme that I associate with you is you're just such an incredible listener and an incredible it's just amazing to watch how you're able to just calibrate things together. So, anyways.
I think of the arts as kind of like a job, and I go to work every day, but it's like, yeah, you need to find some sort of inspiration, but I don't kind of sit around waiting for it. There's plenty, there's a backlog, put it that way.
I love it. I love it. All right, number 2. What is it, Faith? Dream place to travel, John. Where would it be?
Travel. I've never anywhere where I wasn't with a band.
Okay.
It's the only time I've ever traveled anywhere in my life was playing music. Usually with 20 or 30 people. No, not that many. It seems like it when you're in a band.
Yeah.
We have the Mekons is an 8-piece band, so we travel as a pack. And I would love to go somewhere on my own. And actually, the first time I came here for Sarah Fest was actually, I was telling people about it, I think I was halfway down the Natchez Trace. And I was in a car on my own in America. And I could just pull over and get out and climb up on an ancient mound and look around. And it was a really amazing moment. It was like, oh, look at me, I'm on my own.
Wow.
No one's saying, oh, where's the next bathroom? Where's the, like,
You didn't have to manage anybody else.
Yeah,
yourself.
exactly. And so,
was that unnerving in any way?
Yeah, it was, because I suddenly realized this is the first time this has ever happened. I didn't learn to drive till I moved to America. I have no need to drive in Wales and Leeds. I could just walk to fabulous public transport, trains and everything. So, and I was in a band, so I didn't want to drive.
Right.
But I will say, actually, dream place to travel. The only time I've been to Asia was a 4-hour stopover in Hong Kong airport on my way to Australia, which I thought Hong Kong was near to Australia, which shows not much I know. We got on the plane, says, yes, we'll be arriving in Sydney in 10 hours. I was like, no. What am I doing in Hong Kong? And but we Mekons have been doing some sort of like, trying to do more interesting things. We're doing acoustic stripped down version.
Nice.
And I did a couple of things this year, one on a boat in France, one on a boat in Belgium, just with one other Mekon, but different Mekons each time. Now 4 Mekons are going to go and play on a boat going up the Mekong River, mainly because the company liked the sound of Mekons on the Mekong.
I love it.
So,
sounds like a branding dream.
I've never been to Vietnam. I mean, that's the only way I've ever traveled is to play music. So this is really exciting.
Very cool. Very
So
cool.
that's, I think,
Nice. All right, next one for us, Faith. Are you currently reading anything?
I am reading a book by Max Hipp. I started reading it yesterday. He won an award. He's a professor here.
Yes.
I can't remember what the name of the book is, but I can see the cover. It's got a heart on it.
That's
Can you
cool.
remember the title?
We're going to have to Google this. Forgive me for not knowing. We're going to look at
I
it.
asked him. I saw it when he's in part of the cohort.
Yes.
And then I saw that I thought he'd won an award for a short story, but it's actually a collection of short stories on a small press.
All right, everyone
We're in
check out
Mississippi.
Max Hipp's book.
And it's really great.
That's fabulous.
I thought I knew it would be, but I started reading it last night.
That's incredible.
It's incredible. Next one.
Because I didn't bring a book with me.
You did it.
Because I thought I wouldn't have time. And actually, I always take books with me and I never open them because I'm so busy on
Right.
trips. This time I had a little moment.
I love it. When did you consider yourself successful?
I don't know if I ever, I judge success by, different criteria maybe than other people would. But with our band, many people would conventionally say we are not very successful. Sally Timms always says, the secret of the Mekon success is our lack of success. That's why we've stayed together so long, we're still friends, because, money never reared its ugly head. We always kind of pulled the money back in to fund the next project, and everyone in the band has had some other kind of form of making money. I will say my mother thought I was a success the day I took her backstage to a Johnny Cash show, and she talked to Johnny Cash about somebody burgling our house. She made Johnny Cash laugh. Then before he went on stage, he kissed her on the lips. And she thought I was great forever after that. She never gave me any problems about anything after that. It was a total light switch moment.
Oh my gosh.
Suddenly, my son knows Johnny Cash. So
Did that moment, did it inspire a
saw-
song? Can we know that?
I
That's
did,
it?
actually, no, I'd met Johnny Cash a few times because we made a benefit album for an AIDS foundation in England with punk rockers singing his songs, and it was called Till Things Are Brighter. and we sang Johnny Cash songs, and he loved it. He got right behind it. He was a wonderful person. So, but the first time I met him, his career was in the doldrums, and I didn't even understand that. I was like, Johnny Cash is like, you know, Moses or someone.
Yeah.
He's just, how can he have problems in his life or his career? But of course, everyone does.
Never.
So I wrote a song about meeting him and about that situation. So.
Very cool. Very cool. I think we have one more. What is the most important lesson you've learned?
To shut up and listen.
Ooh,
How's that?
I like it. I need to adopt that perhaps a little more in my life, but I like it. Shut up and listen.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Faith, for those 5
Faith.
questions. Give Faith a little round of applause. Okay, so what was your first introduction to music? Little Johnny.
I got to say, the first time, Little Johnny.
Little Johnny.
Little Johnny. Oh, I was 3 feet tall. I remember. I can remember exactly the moment something happened. When I was a kid who played 3 games of sports every weekend in Wales, like rugby for the school on Saturday morning, club soccer on the Saturday afternoon, then with a men's team, and I was probably 14, and it was just, you know, disgusting. Every weekend to come home completely muddy with bits missing, and you know, I was really kind of over it. I thought there must be more to life than this. And the weather was always raining, and I was always in the bath, you know.
Clean it up.
And T-Rex, the band T-Rex came on the radio, and it's a song called Jeepster, and it was it happened to go, girl, I'm just a Jeepster for your love. And something happened. I went all tingly all over. And I want this. And I have to go and buy this record. And then I started buying records. And fortunately, I mean, that stuff, I still love it. I'm not embarrassed by my early choices.
Yeah.
I seem to have, for somebody who didn't know anything about music, I had really amazing taste, because some of those records I've just acquired were some of the most fantastic things. And what really inspired me was the B-side. When you get a record, I got Stay With Me by Rod Stewart and the Faces, and somebody sold it to me, and then I went, ooh, what's this? And I put it on, and it's a song called Debris on the other side, and I heard it when we were having lunch the other day in Proud Larry's.
Oh my goodness.
It came on, and it was the first time I heard a song that I didn't understand the lyrics. We were talking about this the other day, about the mystery of like poetry of lyrics.
Yeah.
You know, I understood like Friday night, let's go out and dance. I understand songs like that. But T-Rex, I didn't have the faintest idea what he was singing about whatsoever. It was just kind of like, frankly, it's psychedelic gibberish, but I love it, you know. But this song by Ronnie Lane of the Faces, Debris, it took me years to work out what it was, but it was a total mystery. It's a beautiful song. I thought it was a love song, but it's about a relationship ending or a relationship that's out of balance. And then I found out, I got to know Ian McLagan, who was the keyboard player on the Faces, and he played with Billy Bragg and the Blokes, and one of the Mekons was in it. So I got to hang out with one of my total heroes, and he was the loveliest man on earth, and we were talking about it once. And he just said, well, it's about his dad. And it was about his relationship with his dad after he became successful, and how his dad tried to sort of leech off him. And how they had a really bad relationship, but it's kind of redemptive as well.
Right.
It's like, boy, you were my hero, now you are my best friend. I've been there and back. No, you tried to tell me, but I had to learn for myself. And it's now, God, I understand. 30 years later, I understand this song. Yeah, and I heard it yesterday. Someone was playing it, and it's the B-side. It's not the hit. And I was like, wow, this music thing's deep.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, really.
All right, fast forward. Talk to us about how the Mekons was formed.
I got to Leeds October 1976. I had freshers group leaders. They were guys that were meant to take you around and show you where the laundry was and where, you know, everything was on the university campus. They took me to the pub, and they were the 2 guys who would become the singers in the Mekons. And one of them, we talked about music, and once found out I had a drum kit, and he says, you should get that up here right now. And because the Gang of Four, the Mekons hadn't even thought about having a band. But that was the weekend that the Sex Pistols were on the front page of every British newspaper. The filth and the fury. Must we throw this filth at our pop kids? All these headlines, because they'd been on the television and they'd been sort of provoked by this presenter who was drunk, and they swore on it. He wanted him to do something outrageous. So Steve Jones, being the marvelous person he was, I can't say what he said, but the funniest thing was they used a lot of kind of expletives, but Steve Jones said, "You're a rotter," which is not you can't say that, but that was the most damning thing he said to the guy. The guy's career was pretty much over after that, the presenter, and their career, and every person in Britain, it's a small country, everyone had an opinion, and you were either for punk rock or against punk rock. And I was 19 and I was an art student, and I'm like, I guess I know where I sit.
There you go.
And then everybody started forming bands. It was just a very, very exciting time. Yeah. And punk rock was kind of this, it was like all bets are off. Music isn't the possession of like rich hippies who play stadiums and play 1 million notes a minute. Suddenly anyone can have a band. And up in the north of England where we were, we kind of misread all the kind of smoke signals we were getting from the fashion capital, London, where punk was kind of perceived down there as, it's the next thing, glam, you got, it's the next thing. And up where we were, we took it literally. So all the bands were doing crazy stuff. In Sheffield, you had the Human League and Cabaret Voltaire. In Manchester, you had the Fall, the Buzzcocks. Leeds, it was Meekon's Gang of Four, Delta 5. And we were all kind of, there was a little bit of collaboration between those bands, and bands would kind of help each other. A lot of bands in Scotland as well. Scotland, all misunderstanding it and not seeing it as like a career, but seeing it as an opportunity to make interesting art, and basically to be part of something that we were excluded from before.
Right.
I wasn't a musician. Tom Greenhalgh asked me to join the Meekons. He said, "Do you want to be in a band where no one can play their instruments?" And I was like, okay. And it made perfect sense in 1976 in Leeds. That made total sense.
Yeah.
So I threw away my paintbrushes for 15 years and traveled around the world in a van. It was great.
It was great.
And at the end of it, I had nothing. And I had a radical rethink needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So talk to us about what was, when you came to Chicago, what was this music scene like?
Well, I came to Chicago with full intention of just not really doing music anymore. I had to think of something else to do. That was a good segue, because I was just saying that. And
Thank you. No.
Chicago would not let me stop playing music. I was given all these opportunities. The idea of America is the land of opportunity. People say that. It really was for me, and particularly Chicago. It was, and I always gravitated towards Chicago because we traveled, because it felt like the north of England. Okay. It had that kind of blue-collar, rust-belty feel of towns like Manchester and Leeds, where, Leeds is in Yorkshire, and it's like, Yorkshire's like the Texas of Britain, where everybody's like, they don't care what goes on anywhere else. It's not important.
Right.
It's only what happens in Yorkshire is important.
Does sound like Texas.
And Chicago's got a massive streak of that as well. It's kind of like New York.
Right.
LA. It's just Chicago. And I met a lot of people who were passionate about the town. And I realized it was a place that had that same mentality that we had. It was very punk rock. People were up for doing things, putting time and effort, and willing to, really interested in collaboration. People from all over the map in terms of artistically and musically, just willing to do things just for the hell of it. Not like, what's the payday? Where's this going to take us? And it was right up my street. And I was telling guys yesterday, I met a guy in a post office. I had nothing to do, so I was going to buy a stamp. And a guy comes to me, "Are you John Langford from the Meekons?" I'm going, "I am." And I think I said, "I was. I don't know. The Meekons aren't really doing anything." And then he said, "Oh, I've got Mark Perry from ATV in a studio on the north side. Do you want to come? Do you know him?" I was going, "Yeah, I do know Mark Perry." And he said, "Well, do you want to produce his record? I'll pay you." And I was like, "Okay, I'm not doing anything." And I got back into something I was doing that quite a lot, producing indie bands in the 80s, and You know, I was always the guy that got asked to produce the single, that got the band the major deal, and then they wouldn't book me to do the major album. So,
Oh, why?
so it was like, this is tiring.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, suddenly I'm sort of on the map in Chicago. We formed a little band called the Waco Brothers. It wasn't even called the Waco Brothers. It was called John and Dino's Church of Country and Western Music. Basically, just played in bars for beer, and then all the club stars said, "Oh, you got a band? You got to play our club." And next thing we knew, we were on tour in Australia, and had an album out. And it was just like, I can't shake this thing.
It's your calling, man.
Yeah, and yeah, Chicago's always, you know, sometimes just Chicago will just come up and give you a little hug. You know, it's a tough town, but sometimes it's like, come on, everything's all right. Come on.
Yeah.
You know.
Very cool. Very cool.
So I like it. I will remain, at least with a foothold in Chicago as time goes on. But
how do you feel? I mean, I've read many places. I've heard people say, I mean, you really are responsible for that alt country thing in Chicago. You don't think so?
No, I'm good. I'm a good connector.
Yeah?
I can connect people. There was very talented people who might have been working in a more isolated way if I hadn't been wandering around chivying people to do things. And the Bloodshot Records label came up at the time, and they kind of gave me a blank check to do weird projects. So we did. First one I did was actually a German label asked me to sing Johnny Cash songs. I literally had nothing to do. I was like, "You're gonna make an album of Johnny Cash songs? I'll do that. Yeah, why not?" And I got some band that became sort of roots of the Waco Brothers. Then they wanted us to do an album. Waco's just did covers. So now we have to write songs. And then it kind of rolled from that. Then I ended up putting together 3 albums against the death penalty. Steve Earle said, "You can do this. We need to raise money for there was a moratorium against the death penalty, which it actually ended up, the governor actually signed and they banned the death penalty. And the people who were doing it basically needed money for photocopying, and it was all kind of behind the scenes thing. It wasn't like a big loud, do this, ban. You know, it was a focused campaign that spoke to law enforcement who were against the death penalty as well at the end of it. And we just raised money. But I had so many people come in and sing, and Kelly Hogan, who's here this week. But you know, it was amazing. It was amazing to get them to play with people and play with, you know, soul musicians from Chicago, gospel people from Chicago, all coming together, people from out of town coming in specific. Dave Alvin flew in and played on nearly every track because he felt passionately about it. And for once in my life, it was a sort of campaign that actually, you know, achieved what it wanted to do. I felt very strongly about it. I came from a country which didn't have the death penalty, and I arrived in Chicago, and I'm watching the news, and it's kind of people who are anti-death penalty are portrayed as didn't have a voice even. They were just like portrayed in slow motion with just pictures of their badges. And look at these freaks, you know.
Right.
Well, people opposing an execution. And I was like, wow, I just slid off the political map. So that's why I wanted to get involved in that.
I'm in awe of your humility, and I'm in awe of your ability.
Shall I brag more?
I'm
great.
He is great.
Seriously,
and you're just impressive.
I'm a great dancer.
So, keeping with our theme of collaboration, I want to bring out a collaborator of mine and someone who is a dear friend and longtime collaborator with you, Theresa Starkey. A little bit about Theresa Starkey, Associate Director and an Instructional Associate Professor for the Sarah Isom Center for Women and Gender Studies. Her PhD is in American Studies from Emory University, and she was a double major in History and Film at Georgia State University. She teaches gender study courses here, gender and sexuality in cinema, gender studies methodology, and many other things. She is brilliant. She is also the queen of collaboration and truly one of my most favorite people. Help us welcome Dr. Theresa Starkey.
Can we hug? Can we hug?
You guys, go for it. And I'm coming in.
Oh, group hug.
A group hug. I'm coming in. Okay, so July 13th, 2015. That is the first time you emailed me.
Oh, wow.
First time, July 13th. And that's when all of our interaction and collaborations began. And I just want to say publicly and on the record, thank you, Theresa.
Thank you, Nancy. Thanks for answering my email.
Of course.
Thank you
of
for
course.
joining me for coffee. And it was fantastic. And then things just happened from there.
Absolutely. Would you
What
mind?
did the email say?
The email was about you. It was about,
Wow.
yes, it was about the kickoff of Sarah Fest. It was about bringing John to campus and all of the events that were going to be happening. And it was an ask to be involved in some capacity. And that first year, we did have a little talk we did at
The Powerhouse.
Powerhouse.
Yeah.
And then just over these past 10 years, Theresa, I think she's lost her mind, but she's kept me around. And we keep exploring and doing new things. So here we are, and now 5 years of this Artist in Residence program, and it's wonderful. How did y'all meet?
Atlanta.
Atlanta, yes. That's
You
right.
did bring me out to Emory for
I did, actually.
a long time ago. How long is that?
Over 2 decades, perhaps.
Wow,
maybe.
that's incredible. We had a
Yeah.
friend called Barry Mills, and Barry Mills did and Jack. They did a thing called Rudy and Go-Go's world famous cartoon show, and it was on TNT.
Yeah.
Kind of like it was meant to be an early morning show for kids,
Right.
but the viewing figures seemed to show that it was actually watched mostly by
College students.
college
and-
students
and
on the
young
West
children.
Coast who were going to bed and after a long night of partying.
Yeah.
And I was asked to be a character on the show, and I was the old salty sea biscuit. And it was fantastic. And I was filmed in a kayak on a blue screen, and then they put the kayak into a disgusting sink with a tap dripping. And I had an eye patch and a sailor hat, and I go, "Arr!" I had to do pirate noises, and I wrote all these poems. They said, you're like a poet. I said, really? Okay. So I wrote all these poems on the plane
Oh my
on the way down, and then they set me up in my little outfit, sat in the kayak, and I had to rock the kayak so it looked like I was moving, and go, barbecue pork, oh barbecue pork, and stuff like that. They were songs and poems. It was absolutely ridiculous, the stupidest thing I could ever imagine, and they were delighted with it. And then we achieved quite some notoriety where people would say, "Are you really old salty sea biscuits?" And I'm going, "I am." And Sally did it, and she was Cowboy Sally from the Mekong, Sally Timms, and she did. They had her in a cowboy outfit. She was a goat rustler. So they had a goat on the show called Go-Go the Goat. That's Rudy and Go-Go. And the other character was a real goat who they just filmed for one day, then superimposed him to all these situations. And there was lots of shots of Sally just chasing a goat around and going, "Come here, you goat." And that was sort of her catchphrase. And she made an album called Cowboy Sally after that. And used the artwork from the show.
Which is really great.
Which is a beautiful,
Yeah.
it was a really lovely album, but it's like, okay, she became Cowboy Sally and I became the old salty sea biscuit.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
So we met, via Barry Mills and her
Yeah,
lunatic husband Jack.
Yes, mutual friend. But then I would say, when I was in graduate school, that was the opportunity for me to think about programming. And in that way, I mean, I think about programming being connected with pedagogy and education, right? And so in graduate school, I was really lucky. I had professors who were super supportive. And one of the things I wanted to do, I think I was taking a class on maybe like space and place. And I wanted to bring John to town if he would come, and he did accept the invitation. So as a graduate student, it was an experience for me to work with others to make that possible. And so I did things like learn how to write a small arts grant to get funding. I figured out how to do a press kit and to reach out to like the local paper, which is like, it was the Creative Loafing, right? And so it's sort of like our, the local voice here, right?
Right.
And so making contacts and trying to pitch this thing. And then in addition to that, bringing John to campus to visit students in classes. He performed. And I also worked with a local gallery in town called iDrum to do an exhibit of John's artwork. And then I also think that you ended up playing maybe at a place in East Atlanta, the Flatiron, but I can't remember that. That's kind of fuzzy because it's been a while. But that was this opportunity working with John then was a way that very much influenced the kinds of things that I do now, right? And as I said, I had an opportunity then to sort of figure these kinds of things out. And at that same moment, shortly before graduate school, I had been involved with an avant-garde collective in Atlanta called 800 East. And so that was something where I had a roommate at the time who always had art supplies and stuff around. And so encouraged me to sort of experiment. And with 800 East, it was a place where if you couldn't get your work into a gallery, you created these spaces for exhibition. It could be the 800 East space, but then sometimes other artists did things like go into factories that were dilapidated, because this was a moment in Atlanta where there was like industry had left, and so there was these, spaces that were not being utilized. And so like a lot of like college or art students would use these spaces and play music there or create art galleries. And so I think that, and then doing the thing at Emory, these all sort of like entwined together.
I love hearing you talk about it. I think so often within the academy, we haven't historically done a good enough job in teaching, modeling how to create those opportunities and how to get things out there. And I think what you do really well from your experiences, and then the resources we have here, how to create experiences like the cohort, connecting this way. You do a beautiful job of connecting university with campus partners. It's just really exciting to watch how you're putting all of that in action now and here at the University of Mississippi. Why is collaboration so important to you, Theresa?
For me, it's exciting, right? I think there's this way of, when you're in a group together, seeing something different from a different angle, right? What somebody else would say that becomes very sort of exciting. And I also like the idea of hearing somebody say something and then trying to bring that into focus and realization, right? And so, but then you're doing that collectively with other people around you. And so it really is about sort of like process, right. For me. So I think that's one of the things that collaboration is. It can lead to unexpected outcomes, right?
Yeah.
It can be surprising, right? But then there's also, I think, when you collaborate, if you find the people that you can collaborate with, there's this level of trust there, right? Because sometimes you're going to take this big leap together, right? And but if you're comfortable and you're ready to take that jump together, that's pretty exciting, right? And when you're jumping, if you have to pivot in midair and think about, right, I might miss the map, but I'm going to land differently so I don't break my hip. It's those are the kinds of things. So
That's an everyday problem for me when I'm leaping.
So so I think
but it's so important because it's this idea of
vulnerability.
It's
right?
vulnerability, and I think in certain fields it's so much more accepted, this idea of possible failure, whether within the experiment, within the lab, and we need to allow that to happen within the artistic circle too. All right.
I would say sorry,
Yes.
you've got to move on. I was just going to say Jim Sheridan was here from Hat Show Print, and we made art together. We made art with the cohort. We forced, bullied everyone to just start cutting things up and gluing, and no one quite knew what was going on. But it was like, all right, this is one form of collaboration. And I think you said respect. You need to respect the people and respect people's decisions. And Jim always says, we leave our egos at the door.
Shut up and listen. No.
That's actually right, because oftentimes it shouldn't be. It's not about It's not about you. It's about the thing.
Yeah.
Right. And getting the thing done. Right. And then, yeah.
I love it. All right, we always play a game on LMR Live, and we're going to do a little game here. It's not really, you're not competing. It's more for us to enjoy watching you guys work at this.
We're going to collaborate.
Right
You're going to collaborate on the game, so let's do the video into the game. All right, so we may be familiar with the game Heads Up, but we're not playing that today. We're doing a version called Tip Off. You may be able to guess potentially why, but how we're going to do this, I'm going to hold a word above first Dr. Starkey's head, and you are going to try to give clues, John, to get her to guess what the word is. We may have to help.
No rhyming?
Not to start.
One word?
Try with one word first.
Okay.
Let's see how it goes.
Okay, let's
All right,
see.
so here's the first word.
Vacation.
Retreat.
Billy.
Goad.
Strange
Think
fruit.
British. I'm going to
Billie
go on
Holiday.
not my vacation, but my, did you say it?
Vacation.
Holiday.
Holiday! Woo! You got it! All right.
Separated by a common language.
Theresa, you rocked it. All right. Now, let's see how John does.
Oh.
Theresa.
Oh. Woo woo.
Train.
Oh. Oh, there's, okay.
Train.
Feet.
Engine.
Feet.
Feet.
Yeah.
Trucks. Woo.
Nike.
Trainers.
Yes, you got it. Very good. Very good. Very good.
Trainers.
Trainers. All right, here we go.
Jack.
A lantern.
Sorry. Dr. Martin.
King.
Oh. Oh, yeah. See where you went with that.
Okay.
Shoe.
Horn.
If the fits.
Wear it.
If
If the shoe.
I got you out of here.
yeah, you're gonna get the if you don't behave.
Heck out of here. The boot.
Yes! The boot.
No, I know where we're going with this. We're talking about cars, and I didn't even get that till now. Where's the sandwiches? They're in the boot.
Last one.
Trunk,
Last
I
one.
was meant to say.
Oh, okay.
I just pointed at my boot before we started because I wasn't wearing trainers.
All right.
Go on.
Ready?
Yes.
Overalls.
Dungarees. Rope. Give them enough rope.
No.
That's not helping. That's not helping,
okay.
Leslie.
Onesie. Onesie.
Onesie.
Onesie.
A sweater, maybe?
Oh.
A jumper.
Yes! Yay! Yay! Very good. Very
What do
good.
you call a sheep on a trampoline? A woolly jumper.
Oh.
All right. Very good, Theresa. Thank you.
Oh,
Do you mind
thank
going
you.
back to your seat
No,
if you
not-
don't mind? If you don't mind. I'm gonna. Part of the LMR team, and they have been part of our songwriting workshop and showcase. And I just wonder if you would share with folks what you put together, Isabel, and then this is going to be for our LMR 360 segment. We're going to play a little clip of them from that showcase. Will you share with John what
Of
you've done?
course. So, summer of 2024, I had worked alongside a basketball player. Her name is KK, and Professor Balach. And it started out as an idea that turned into something truthfully magical. And our main word was organic. So what it is it's just people who love all different kinds of music, and we all help each other out to create music together. So it's really a beautiful thing, regardless of if it's indie, rock, classical, any kind of genre. It's just people helping other people out. And Maya has gotten to experience that firsthand. So
What was the experience like for you, Maya? Because Maya, you've been very much like in the voice studio, more traditional classical approach, but there was this inner world inside of you.
Yeah, so basically all of my life I've been doing choir here at Ole Miss. I was doing voice studios, so I hadn't really had a lot of time to put towards like my creativeness and my songwriting. Well, I'd never written a song before last year when we did the songwriting sessions. And Isabel invited me, and I'm like, I don't write songs. I don't do that. Like, I just sing my opera. And, you know, I came to it, and I don't know, I worked with a lot of different people, and they really showed me what songwriting was. I really didn't understand, like, the structure of it and, like, what other people did going into it. But, like, working with other people within the group, it really helped me understand how I could do my own songwriting and my own storytelling through songwriting.
That's fantastic. I was an art student. I never thought I'd write songs, and we just had the band. All the, you know, circumstances happened. We had the band, and then we had to have some songs. It was in punk. Original material was really important. So we used to just write down the first things that came into our heads, and we'd have like one chord, and somebody would shout the lyrics. But you know, at the time, we just, you know, this isn't really songwriting. But actually, it was.
That's exactly what we do.
Great.
No, it's
I mean, it can
beautiful,
be anything, and you can start anywhere and be as elaborate or simple as you want. I love songs. During the pandemic, everyone said, "Oh, you could write your book now." And I was like, "I've got time to write a book. I've got to watch Netflix." But I wrote about 500 songs. I mean, 3 of them were quite good, but I just kept. It was a really manageable thing to do. Just like, all right, I'm play my guitar. All right, I'm gonna write a song, and I could write something that I thought was songs I've used since. And literally, it took like 15 minutes of my time. If the idea is good, and sometimes, I think it was Nick Lowe said that when you write a song, it's almost like a good one. You always forget how he wrote it or why, and it's almost like somebody else wrote it, and then suddenly it's on the paper, and it's almost like you're just a conduit for the universe, and it's sort of like, whoa, that's good.
Well, it sounds sort of like you, Maya, in the sense that you didn't know it was there, and it was this conduit that put it down.
Or keep at it. And songwriting, like everything else, it's work. It's like a muscle you exercise and find tricks to make you self-produce things, and it's good.
Well, very proud of y'all, and want to share with our viewing audience a little, we call it our LMR 360, a little clip of what they performed at the showcase. And we're going to enjoy that while we get set up for our closing segment. All right, thinking ahead for a moment, our next LMR Live will be on November 4th with Ole Miss music alum William Waldrop, who is part of Andrew Lloyd Webber's team in New York City with the Broadway show Masquerade. That will be our next episode, and he will be here for a residency. But in the very immediate future, tomorrow night, you need to be in this beautiful space, 7:30, to enjoy John Langford in concert, along with Kelly Hogan and Izzy Arthurs. It will be spectacular, 7:30 p.m. Thank you to everyone who makes this possible. Huge thank you to the LMR Dream Team who works so diligently in producing and creating and directing and doing all the things. Thank you to our supporters. Thank you to the administration. Thank you to Theresa Starkey. And thank you to you, John, for being here.
It's been great, thank you.
It's a pleasure. To close us out, to really set the mood for how there's a music revolution, a music research revolution going on Will you play something for us?
Well, I'm proud of my people in Wales today. There was an election and the good guys won. So I'm going to play a song about my hometown, Newport. It's a dock town and a lot of sailors come into that town and they sometimes they fail to get back on the boat and the boat sails away and they remain in my town. So my town's very mixed, very interesting, rich cultural place. So this is called Pill Sailor, Pill being the area down by the docks. Pilgwethley, we would say, but Pill. A pit bull tattoo, one good eye of blue, that's wandering still, but what can you do? These ropes are all knotted, they're tangled round me. I'm a sailor who wandered a little too far from the sea. Did we raise up this child just to die? To stare for too long into one sky? Well, surely Bassie's from Tiger Bay, but I'll spend my life down in Pill. They shut down the docks, thrown our lives on the rocks, but my good eye is wandering still. Past the pubs where I fester all day. Transport a bridge, transport me away. These ropes are all knotted, they're tangled around me. I'm a sailor who wandered a little too far from the sea. They passed in the channel, great ships by the score, to carry out coal and carry in ore. And at night these old sea legs were anxious to stray. They come from all over, but never intended to stay. So tell me something I don't know. Find me a skipper with somewhere to go. These ropes are all knotted, they're tangled around me. I'm a sailor who wandered a little too far from the sea. Hey! Thank you, thank you. Wales, Wales, the fish and the country.
Till next time.